The first thing that comes to mind when people think about visiting Peru is going to see Machu Picchu because it's one of the 7 world wonders. I feel like a region of Peru that doesn't get enough credit, doesn't get enough hype, is the mountains here in Peru. We have lots of mountains in Peru because the Andes mountain region goes all through Peru and extends into neighboring countries. I think it's like 6 different countries that form the Andes mountain region. But the specific mountains though that I'm talking about for this video are the mountains located in the department of Ancash, Peru. Ancash, Peru has some of the most beautiful snow-capped mountains and even a glacier. However, due to global warming, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to have these kinds of landscapes around. If you saw my vlog where I got to travel around Peru for a week with my brother, I'll link it up here for you to watch later in case you missed it. But in that vlog, I mentioned how I went back to Ancash recently for the first time in over 10 years, and I got to do the Lagoon 69 trek again for the second time in my life, as well as the Lagoon Paron tour, and it was an amazing experience. Based on my recent trip, in today's video, I want to give you specific tips to help you be as prepared as you possibly can be for the Lagoon 69 trek. Before we begin, Lagoon 69 in Spanish is Laguna 69. And if you remember my old videos where I talked about the different regions of Peru, I'll tag a video up here if I can find it. But the White Mountain Range in Peru is called La Cordillera Blanca. Okay, that's the Cordillera Blanca mountain range. So I'm explaining this because I'm gonna say the names in Spanish throughout this video because I'm going through a process of decolonization. And it's really important for me to say these words in Spanish, and to keep them in Spanish as opposed to changing them in English, because y'all need to be bilingual. Y'all need to learn some new words. And that's my story. Laguna 69 is located in the heart of La Cordillera Blanca mountain range near Huaraz, Peru. So if you want to go and do this trek and see these snow-capped mountains that I'm referring to, you have to travel to Huaraz, Peru. Huaraz is the capital city of the department of Ancash. And Ancash is where my grandma is from. The Laguna 69 trek is renowned for taking you through these beautiful and amazing lush valleys, and then taking you up the mountain so that you're surrounded by the beauty of all of these like snow-capped mountain peaks. And then the trek culminates in bringing you up to La Laguna 69, where you're able to witness the most amazing crystal clear waters of the lagoon. Now, I know by this point you're probably convinced that you have to do this trek, but before you get ahead of yourself, there are some things you need to know. When you sign up for this trek, you're signing up for a full day tour, okay? Because you are going to get picked up from wherever you're staying at, usually between 5 in the morning to 6 in the morning, okay? That's usually when most people get picked up because most people are staying around Huaraz, and the tour bus is going to go and pick up the people and then leave. So you're leaving Huaraz around 6, 6:20, 6:30 in the morning. You're heading off to start the tour. Then, depending on how your tour is set up, you're probably going to stop by an establishment to have a quick breakfast. And the reason for that is that once you begin the trek, the way up the mountain is going to take you anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours, maybe a little bit more, to get yourself up the mountain. And there is no stop along the way for you to get something to eat. And then you have to make your way back down the mountain, which takes another 2.5 hours to come back down the mountain, and then go back towards Huaraz again. And you don't stop at any other place in between to have something to eat. So your only real meal is the breakfast. Also, when you start the trek, meaning your bus drops you off at this certain point for you to get off and then follow the trail all the way up the mountain, when you start your trek, you're going to be starting at about 3,900 meters above sea level, which is about 12,800 feet. And you're going to have to get all the way up to 4,600 meters above sea level, which is around 15,000 feet. So all of that said, here's my advice, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going to start throwing stuff out there. Number 1, I recommend that you travel to Ancash to do the Lagoon 69 trek or other activities there, either sometime between May to September, because this is generally the dry season. This is the Andean summer, and so generally there's good weather for you to be able to do these activities. But again, remember that weather can sometimes be tricky, unpredictable. You never know what's happening. I'm filming this on July 6, 2023. You're going to get it later, but there was an avalanche sometime around mid-June 2023 that was totally unexpected. Again, global warming, I don't know what's going on. But nobody was hurt, at least to my knowledge. You never know with weather. So generally, a good rule of thumb is travel from May to September for these kinds of activities. The first time that I went to Huaraz to do this trek and other activities, I believe I went during March, and the weather was a lot colder then compared to this last time that I went. And I'm not sure if that was because of global warming or because of the fact that I went during like a better time. You know, I went in May, late May, as opposed to like sometime early March. Number two, make sure you pack these essentials for this trip, okay? You definitely need a hat, you need some sunglasses, you'll need sunblock, you'll need proper hiking shoes, and you might even need like some kind of poncho or some kind of thing to keep yourself dry in case it happens to like rain when you're going up the mountain. I think it goes without saying that you need proper layers of warm clothing and water, but something else that I recommend is chapstick. Like, get yourself some chapstick. I got a lip balm that was like 7 soles, I think, from the local pharmacy in Carhuaz, which was on the way to Lagoon 69. And I got that because my lips got so dry going up this mountain. And I was just so dry and like dehydrated. And I tried to drink some water on the way, but not too much. Anyway, the point is you need some chapstick for your lips. Also, if you want to avoid altitude sickness, then you can either take mate de coca with you, which is coca leaves tea, and you can either buy that on your way over there or prepare it the night before to take it with you. Maybe your hotel can help you to get that ready in the morning when you leave for your trek, or you get the altitude pills for altitude sickness, and you can get that at local pharmacies here or from wherever you're at. The first time I did this trek back in 2011, I took my regular Nike sneakers because I didn't have hiking boots and I didn't know where to find them or whatever, and I wasn't going to spend that money. So I was just like, whatever, it's just a one-time thing. So I went up the mountain and I got there. It was hard, but I still got up there and I came down and I survived. I don't remember any major pains afterwards. The second time though, recently, 2023, when I did this trek again, I went again in these Nike sneakers. They're dirty. Okay, don't mind them. And I was in pain going up there. Like my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. And I was just wondering, like, is this because I'm getting older and I'm no spring chicken anymore, and so my joints and stuff are hurting? Like, is it aging that's the issue here, or is it the shoe? I don't really know. So maybe I'll have to do this trek a third time with the proper shoes to see if there's a difference. But I would recommend you still get the hiking shoes anyway, because there are rocks, there are certain things there, and hiking shoes are supposed to be more supportive of that. They're supposed to help you to really like not slip as easily and those kinds of things, because in some areas there are like pebbles or sand or those kinds of things. So I recommend you get the hiking shoes. My brother said he got some really cheap ones for like $30 in the US. So if you can get them for super cheap where you're at, invest in them. If not, you'll still be able to get up the mountain with your regular shoes. Your feet and knees and ankles, you know, the joints might hurt a little bit, but you'll get up there. Both times I've done this trek, I have never taken a waterproof jacket or a poncho because I'm just very unprepared for these kinds of things. Look at me giving you advice on how to be prepared, and I'm never prepared myself. Oh my God, the irony. I'm a lucky unicorn of a person. So the first time I did this trek in 2011, I believe we had like crappy weather. It was kind of cloudy, kind of a wet time, and it was cold all the way up there until we finally got to the lagoon, and then finally God had mercy on us and the clouds parted and we had some sunshine. But along the way it was pretty cold and somewhat wet. Like in some parts I remember maybe like light drizzling. It wasn't really bad and it didn't last for long. The second time that I went, it was a mix of what, like different weather conditions. Like it would be really bright and sunny and nice, and I would have to take my jacket off and just like walk because I was hot. And then sometimes it would get like a little bit cloudy and the sun would disappear, but it never got really wet. So I didn't need the waterproof jacket or poncho kind of thing in both cases. Like it wasn't that severe, but you never know, like when you go, maybe you'll have wetter conditions. And so in order to keep yourself from getting wet or keep your stuff from getting wet, it's good to have these things on hand, just, you know, as an extra, I guess, like safety measure. The next thing I want to tell you is that in your backpack that you're going to take with you on this trek, I really want you to not overpack and only take like the absolute necessary things. And if you're going to take some food or snacks, like don't take too much, because it literally is brutal when you're walking, like going up this mountain and you have this extra weight that you're carrying. The first time I did this trek in 2011, like I can't remember, we took like a liter of like juice and a liter of water and another liter of water and like some fruits, and just like a lot of things in this little book bag. And that book bag was torture to carry up this mountain. So the second time around, when I went in 2023 with my brother, I knew this because of previous experience, and I didn't pack much at all. And because the trek for me was just so brutal this time around in a different way from the first time, I didn't even have much of an appetite when I actually got to the top of this mountain. Like I had like two mandarinas, two tangerines, and that was it, and some water, and that was it. I really did not have much of an appetite. My brother was knocked out, as we already know from my vlog. He was passed out. He didn't eat nothing. So like we barely ate anything. So I really recommend that you don't take a whole lot of food because you might not even be hungry when you get up there. It depends on your body though, so you have to pack according to your body and your needs. So if you feel like you can take the extra weight because you need the extra stuff once you get up there, by all means go ahead and take it. If not, you don't have to take as much. You'll be fine if you don't need a whole lot. Another important point I want to make is that you really need time to acclimate to get ready to do the Lagoon 69 trek. This cannot be the first thing you do on your first day in Huaraz, okay? Do not make the mistake my brother and I made, okay? We were short on time and we wanted to do all the things, and we were like, let's just do the hardest thing first. And that was a big mistake because I literally felt like I was dying inside. Like my chest hurt so bad from, I guess, the altitude or going up this strenuous mountain without really having even 24 hours to get adjusted, that at the end of it, my chest literally hurt inside. Like I felt like, do I have some internal bleeding going on here or something? Because it was really tough to kind of like breathe because I kept feeling something inside of my chest here near my heart and my lung area. And I was like, what is going on? So you really need time to acclimate, okay? To do the Lagoon 69 trek, you need at least like 4 days at the minimum to like adjust and get, adjusted to the altitude. So in the meantime, you go and do other tours, other activities just to get adjusted to the altitude. And then on your fourth or fifth day, you can tackle this trek and do it. Some people might get away with being in Huaraz and doing other tours for a couple of days and then doing the Lagoon 69 trek on their third day. I mean, everyone's bodies are different. You have to see what is right and appropriate for you. But I really recommend people to do this only on their fourth or fifth day. Like you need time. And you can do a bunch of other things in the meantime. Like there's so much to do and see in Huaraz. So this doesn't have to be something that you have to do right away. Like you can wait a little bit because you literally won't be bored while you wait for your body to get adjusted. You'll have a bunch of other things to do. I think that's all I really wanted to say for this video in terms of my advice or guidance. But something that I also want to share is that the first time I did this trek all those years ago, right when we got there, there were people already there, a few people there. And there was this white guy, I don't know where he was from, but he took his clothes off and took a dip in the lagoon. And I was like shocked because the water is like super cold, I imagine. But today, with who I am today and my values today and stuff, I really do my best to protect the environment. And when you get up to the Lagoon 69 thing, like the actual sign that says like you've arrived at Lagoon 69, like one of the things that it says there is like no swimming. No swimming. And I'm pretty sure that sign was there all those years ago. I just don't remember. I have to look at the old photos. Hopefully I have one that, shows the sign. But, we're not supposed to swim in these places in order to take care of them. So please use your freaking common sense. Like I know it's tempting to want to go and take a dip in these places and stuff, but like we're trying to take care of them. We're trying to preserve these beautiful natural spaces. So that means following certain rules, out of respect for Mother Nature, out of respect for the people that live in the area or that work in the area, or the laws. So please, even though it's tempting to do something like that, don't do that. Don't be disrespectful like that and violate the rules that are clearly stated there, okay? Especially because you have to wear sunblock going up this mountain. Like I never wear sunblock. I know I'm telling you to do something I don't even do, but listen, see, I take care of my skin and I'm very picky and I try to live an organic, natural life. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I need to see about finding natural, organic sunblock for myself. But this trip, this recent trip to Ancash and the Lagoon 69 trek really showed me like I really need sunblock because I got sunburned all the way over there because the sun was shining so hard on us. And I don't know if it's because we're in a higher altitude and maybe, I don't know, like the sun rays penetrate you differently at a higher altitude. I have no idea, but I literally got burned on the way over there. And I was trying to protect my face and stuff because you know me, I'm trying to like age gracefully. And I'm like, no, I can't get any more sunspots. I was trying to cover my face on the way over there up the mountain since I didn't have no sunblock. But the thing is like, everyone else, most like normal people use the average normal sunblock that's like full of chemicals, which is why I never use sunblock. Anyway, the point is if this is you, okay, using the normal average sunblock that's like not healthy for you, okay, that's your choice. But these things, like you're wearing sunblock and then if you take a dip into the water, like you're putting those nasty chemicals in this beautiful, clean, pure water. So that's why I'm saying like take care of the area. Don't do these kinds of things, even if it seems cool or whatever, you know, or it's a once in a lifetime experience. Like, don't be so selfish that you do these kinds of things, please. And to piggyback off of that, don't leave your trash up there, because when I was up there, I saw some little bits of like trash laying here and there, and I was so mad. I was so mad because I was like why? Why would you come all the way up here to litter this beautiful space, you know? Like any place. I get so mad when I see people littering anywhere. Sometimes I want to like go behind them and pick up the trash that they dropped and like throw it in the back of their heads. When I am dictator of Peru, people will get fined for littering, I swear. Vote for Stef, benevolent dictator. But yeah, don't leave your trash and don't let people leave their trash. Like call them out, okay? Respectfully and kindly be like, oh, excuse me, you dropped something. Please pick that up. Don't leave that here. You know, let's keep this place clean. Just, there are nice ways to go about it. I do it when I can. So, you know, don't leave any trash. If you're wondering, we paid 60 soles per person to do this trek with this company. And 12 years ago when I first did this, I can't remember how much we paid. Honestly, it's been so long, but it was a private trek. Like it was just me, the person I was with, and then our guide, and we went up this mountain. And I can't remember how much it was because it was such a long time ago and it was also inflation. I'm trying to wonder, maybe it was like 40 soles or 50 soles per person then. But then I'm like, that's too little for like a private guide. But I mean, it also probably was possible back then. I can't remember, you know. So this time around, 2023, we paid 60 soles per person. And a simple timeline breakdown of this day tour basically goes as follows, okay? You're going to get picked up from 5 to 6, maybe 6:30 a.m., okay, depending on where you're at. And then you take off and leave Huaraz anytime between 6 or 6:30 a.m. and you head towards the national park. And then somewhere along the way, potentially around 7:30 a.m., you stop and you get, you know, your breakfast. Depending on how your tour is set up, you'll be there for about 30 minutes at the most, and then you leave around 8 o'clock or whatever, and you arrive at the national park around maybe like 8:30, somewhere maybe close to 9 or whatever. Let's just say 9 a.m. And then you start your ascent up the mountain, and you go up the mountain from somewhere around 9, maybe 9:30 a.m. You have to walk all the way up to the Lagoon 69, and it's going to be about 2.5 to 3 hours. So you're going to arrive at, you know, La Laguna 69 around 11:30 or 12 p.m. Okay. And then you have about an hour to be up there and to take your photos and to rest and take it all in. So you'll probably be up there from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And then around 1 p.m., you have to make your way back down, and you're going to come down the mountain. It's going to take you about 2.5 hours to make your way down. So you'll be in on the bus again at around 3 or 3:30, and then you get back to Huaraz around maybe 6:30 in the afternoon, 7. So it just depends. You'll arrive back in Huaraz sometime between 6 and 7 p.m., probably closer to 7. And that's basically how the whole day tour goes. So you'll probably have to wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, depending on how long it takes you to get ready or whatever for this tour, so that you get picked up between 5 and 6 a.m. So I really hope that this has helped you. Let me know if you found this useful down in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up if this information supported you today, as it helps my channel to reach more people with this information and to help them plan for their journeys. And if you have any questions for me on this tour or things to do in Huaraz or whatever it is, let me know down in the comments below. Yeah, that's basically it. It took forever to record this video. Like, I must have started and stopped so many times because I was like, wait, what am I going to say next? I was like all over the place. I think I've been recording for like a whole hour, maybe, or more. But I really hope that it was worth it and that you got so much out of this today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already for more tips and things on Peru. And if you want to stay in touch with me, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok as Evolving with Stef. My social media handles will be in the description of this video. And that's basically it. So stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.